Morning! Morning! It's Wednesday the 24th of April 2019. Welcome along to the Chapel Hill Marina and this morning's United Kingdom tour coming to you from sunny Lincolnshire. It was a little bit cold this morning, I must say. I've not had the heating on for a couple of days. It's not been that cold, just sort of chilly, do you know what I mean? And I don't like to put my heating on unless absolutely necessary, except for the fan heater in the bathroom, because when I want to go and sit down in there, you know, for 1 or 2 minutes to activate the days before food and nourishment, I do like to sit there in the warm. There's nothing worse than sitting in a cold toilet, is there? Oh, it's just painful. Sitting in a cold toilet is absolutely painful. So I do put the heater on for 10 minutes in there in the morning. But apart from that, I got out of bed, put a jumper on, quite happily sat there watching the BBC breakfast news. Very nice. Good morning. Yesterday I went to the garden centre. Look, I bought a tool. I've bought a tool. Yes. I told you I was going to the garden centre. I've bought a tool. We went to it's my trowel. Do you like it? I mean, I could have saved a bit of money, I suppose, and used an old spoon or something like that. But there's my trowel. There's my new trowel. Only £1, about £1.60 that was. They got different ones in there. Oh, yes. They got ones with wooden handles. They're like £6. £6. That was only about £1.60, something like that it was. Not bad, is it, eh? So I shall be busy today. Went to a place called Johnson's Garden Centre yesterday, which my sister knew about. And before we started, the brother-in-law came as well, Martin, and we went in there and had a lovely meal, actually. Some of the best chips I've ever had in my entire life in there. All homemade, great big thick things. Not like those McDonald's ones, or Burger King, or kebab shop, with like little thin, sticky thing. It's funny, actually, the thin ones are supposed to be worse for things like weight loss than the thick ones are, because apparently the more you've got more of them, therefore they absorb more oil. Did you know that? You see, I'm a nutritionist as well, dears. Anything you want to know about any subject ever, just ask. I know everything. I absolutely know everything. So we're in this place. I had a vegan shepherd's pie, which was absolutely lovely. Really nice. What did my sister have? My sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, had, I think, a chicken and something pie. And I thought they were decent size. Martin, my brother-in-law, didn't think the pie was very big. I'll see where he's coming from. He had a bloody sausage roll as well. Pig. There were no vegan sausage rolls for me. He had a dead animal sausage roll and a chicken pie thing and chips and baked beans. And it was lovely, actually. Yeah, not a bad price. I think we paid £25, £26 for 3 meals and 3 drinks. You know, 2 cups of tea, and I can't remember what he had now. I don't think he had tea, maybe a can of something. So that was nice. And from there, we went into the garden centre. I wanted some bags of earth because I've got a load of... This is for all up here outside our Lincolnshire television studio complex, also known as the Caravan. I've got loads of pots out there, but no earth at all. So we loaded up 9 bags of earth. Now, the best way to buy earth and stuff like that is to get the really big bags, like 150 litres. That's the cheapest way to buy it. But have you tried to lift one of those? Oh, very, very difficult to lift. Not only heavy, but big and bulky as well. So we got the 60 litre ones, and they were doing 3 of those for £10. So I got 9 bags of earth, so it cost £30. That was all right. And some plants. I got 2 hydrangeas, 1 white and 1 blue. I think I got a blue one. I didn't get blue or pink. 1 white and 1 blue or pink. Can't remember the other colour. Loads of lilies, because I love lilies. And lilies, you put them in, they keep coming back year and year, and they get more and more. I've got 2 pots back at the house. Big pots, you know, like planter type things. What you could put a tree in them. And a few years ago, my best mate's mum gave me just a couple of pots of lilies, which I put in there. It must be about 4 years now, 4 or 5 years she gave them. I put them in these things, surrounded by other plants. Well, there's no other plants anymore. The lilies have taken over the entire pot like that. And you want to see these lilies that come up. They're all coming up at the moment down at the house, as I say, in Bracknell in Berkshire. and I'll take some photographs of them when they're done. You'll be amazed by how many lilies there are now. I want to do the same thing up here. The advantage here is that I've got I'm south facing here. I get the sun the entire day, so I'm thinking things are going to grow better here than they do in my house. Because there, I only get the sun for about 3 or 4 hours in the sort of just after 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So fingers crossed with that. So I've got some lilies, what else did I get? Something else. I can't remember, something else that looked quite nice. And honestly, it's so easy to spend 100 quid, isn't it? It comes to like 94 quid, all this stuff. Oh yeah, some pansies for out the front. Because out the front of the caravan, you've got this thing at the bottom, which is like a, I don't know, like a tow bar. Like a tow bar, okay? And I've got on there, I've got this large planter thing that my nephew and his family bought me last year when I first got the caravan, and it had plants in it. Well, of course, they've all died. So I've got some pansies to put in that, and I've already done that. Already done that one. I'll do some pictures when it's all done, and you'll see what you think. None of the pots match. I don't like have every pot is the same size and the same colour and all that. But that doesn't bother me, you see. I've never been one sort of with the OCD business, that everything has to look exactly the same, as you can see from the studio. All bits and pieces here. I just about managed to get the light on the caravan before the camera came to me this morning. I suddenly realised that wasn't on. So that was the visit to the garden centre. And as I say, so easy to spend 100 quid. God, £94 it was. We come out of there and I suddenly realised I didn't have one of these, a little trowel. So then my sister said they might have those in Aldi. So we went to Aldi. This is in Boston, just up the road. It's about 20 minutes drive from here, Boston, 15 to 20 minute drive. So we went to Aldi in Boston and we're walking around there, found the garden section. To get past the garden section, you have to walk past the fruit and veg, okay? You kind of come round and back on yourself unless you go the other way. And I walked... What's that smell? It smelled like dead rats. It was people. There were 2 people in there. They stank. Awful. And not only were they stinking, they smelt like they hadn't had a bath for about 10 weeks. Not only that, they were touching the fruit and veg. Oh, no. I won't be buying anything in there for a while. They absolutely stunk, these people. What's that smell? It was these people. And they were rowing by the fruit and veg. I don't know which sort of apples to buy or something like that. So we rushed past those quickly. Funnily enough, a little bit later on, when we got back in the car, I said there were 2 smelly people in there. My brother-in-law says, he said, oh, is that what it was? He said, I could smell something. It was awful. I said, yes, 2 people standing by the fruit and veg, touching the stuff. Oh, God, would you have said something? Excuse me, could you go back and have a shower before you come out shopping? Oh, went round the garden section. Of course, they've got everything there except for trowels. No trowels. So got a bit of shopping in Aldi. And then from there, we went to the excellent B&Q. I do like B&Q. I always find it very friendly in there with the staff. You generally got some older staff in there who seem to actually care about what the customers want. So I went in there. I'm walking around. I can't find these trowels. I've gone to the garden section. I can't find it up there, but I found some spray because I told you I've got some lily plants. You must get spray which kills lily beetles, because you get a couple of those on that plant, you'll go to bed in the morning, stalks. They will have eaten the entire plant throughout the night. So if you ever buy lilies that are already growing, or you've got the, not bulbs, what are they called? The tuber things. I think they're more tuber things. If you ever get the lily tubers and they start growing, you must get the lily bug spray. Otherwise you'll lose the lot of them and you'll have money wasted, you see. So I found the spray in there. I couldn't find the trowels. So this bloke's working in the garden section. I thought I'll ask him, excuse me, mate, can you tell me where the trowels are? He said, oh yeah, just go along there. I remember it. Aisle 13, he said, you'll find all the hand tools down there. Thanks very much. So I'm walking along there. Like, I think I was at number 20, so it's a long way. Walking 19, 18. And it suddenly occurred to me, he said hand tools. Hand tools. Right? But he didn't say garden hat. I thought to myself, I wonder if he's confused trowels, you know, like for doing building work. Do I look like someone who can do building work, or indeed who wants to do it? No. Has he confused that for garden trowels? Anyway, so I got there, I'm walking down, and there they are, of course. Hammers, drills, screwdrivers. Oh, there they are, building trowels. Oh, Sent me to the wrong bloody place. Fortunately, there's another lady at the dump there. Can you tell me where the trowels are? She said, oh yeah, just by the hand tools. I said, is this the garden trowels? Oh no, right, okay, you want to go down there. So I went back to the place where the bloke was working on the garden section and found the trowels. So I picked up a trowel. First of all, I picked up the one that was £6. For £6 for a trowel, dear. And then I came across these ones for £1.60. And they're all the same. What's the difference? Just because it hasn't got a wooden blooming thing on the end there. Man, oh no, the caravan's been dropped. Glenda will be having a... Glenda sent me this. She'll be having a heart attack, won't you, Glenda? There we are. Put my caravan back up there. Is that moving? Is that all right? There we are. Got that sorted. And then I thought I'll have a look at the plants outside. And I have to say, the quality of the plants in B&Q was as good as in the garden centre. Now, there are some places I wouldn't advise you to buy plants from. Aldi is one of them. Unless you go into Aldi on the day or within 2 days of the plants being delivered there, don't bother because they are dead or dying. The amount of times I've gone past our own Aldi in Bracknell and this was also actually the case of the one in Boston, and you look at the plants and they're dead. No one ever waters them. They are absolutely bone dry. You know, they're like that. Awful. No one ever looks after the plants in Aldi. I don't know why that is. It seems to be a terrific waste of money not looking after your own stock. But 2 days later, all these things are like that and they're dead bone dry. So I can't advise you to buy plants from Aldi. And actually, price-wise, there's not much difference between Aldi and B&Q. But B&Q and Garden Centre, big difference. For example, the orchids in Johnson's Garden Centre, they were £9 in B&Q, they were £8, £8 or £9. So big difference. And that's only one plant. And as we were looking around, I thought, yeah, the plants seem to be a bit cheaper. And I thought the plants in Johnson's were quite expensive. But of course, it is a garden centre, right? And then when you look around, you can see how everything is being looked after. Everything is sort of, you know, damp where it's all watered. There's blokes going around, and ladies, of course, going around picking off dead flowers and making things look all pretty and nice. B&Q, I have to say B&Q, everything looked sort of reasonably all right. As good as the garden centre? Well, if the garden centre was on a scale of, you know, when you looked at the plants outside and inside in the garden centre, I saw no faults. I saw nothing at all that, I don't want to buy that. There wasn't anything like that. Every single plant looked like it was in pristine condition. But, so if the garden centre was on number 10, B&Q would be on 9. It's up there with the garden centre, but a lot cheaper. And we walked around and thought, I thought to myself, I wish I'd come in here first, you know. But that's just that's the way it is, you know. So I went to B&Q and that's where I got my trowel and a few more little plants. And that was my morning yesterday. A lovely morning, really. Really nice morning. At night time, I came back here, had a little bit of a sleep in the afternoon, got up, done the pansies in the front, and I went around to my nephew's house, Gary's house, which is about a 20-minute drive from here. Spent some time with his children, Harry and Evie and Olivia. Olivia, she had a nurse that I hadn't met yesterday. I can't remember what her name was. And she was a happy nurse. She was a happy nurse. And it's the same with all walks of life, isn't it, really? You get happy people and you get miserable bastards or miserable cows, you know, depending on how they are. This was a happy nurse, so we're quite happy to have a happy nurse who was in there looking after Olivia. Olivia's got 24-hour care. She's got severe disabilities. And after that, I came back here. I watched the latest episode of Holby City. And I'm actually hating one of the stories at the moment with Dom. I don't know if you watch Holby City. Dom has recently found he's playing a character that is his character name, Dom. Gay character who is 31 years old, and he's only just found out is his mother has told him that she adopted him, and he's not taking it very well, and he's actually hating his mother at the moment. This is the lady that brought him up. Okay, she might not have born. Well, how do you say this? Born him, birthed him, gave birth to him. It might not be the person that gave birth to him, but nevertheless, she had him as a little baby and brought him up. looked after him, fed him, watered him, clothed him, took him through school, helped him throughout his life. Now she's told him he was adopted and he's turned against her. And it's incredibly sad. And I'm hating his character at the moment, Dom. You see, this rings slightly true with me because I was adopted. And I was adopted from a very young age. Okay? I cannot tell you at what age I was told I was adopted because it was so long ago. So there was a difference there. I was told when I was a tiny little boy I was adopted, whereas this character on Holby City was told when he was 31. Okay? There might be a bit of a... That might make... I don't know. But to have a lady who is in actual fact his mother. It's his mother. It's his mother. Absolutely. The lady who adopted me is my mother. End of story. You know, no bones about it. Yeah, but she didn't. Some people try to be bloody awkward, don't they? Yeah, but she's not really your mother, is she? Yes, she is. Yes, she bloody well is. Absolutely. And he's just completely turned against her. And it's so sad. It's awful. Awful. And I'm hating his character at the moment because he turned against this woman who brought him up. And of course she's in tears and she wants the closeness that she always had, and he's pushing her away all the time. He found out his birth mother has been working with him at the hospital and he's become kind of more close to her, but he's never known her. But he dislikes her as well for giving him away. You know, why did you give me? You didn't want me, didn't want me, didn't want me. Well, there's always a reason for that. Always a reason for that, you know. You know, the woman, if you are given away as a child, probably the woman thinks you will have a better life elsewhere and gives you up. I mean, it's been incredibly hard to give away a child. Not an easy thing to do. So I'm really, really hating his character at the moment for turning on his mother like that. It's just awful. Awful. Anyway, so that was that. Watched Holby City, done a little bit of dinner. And went to bed. And that was my day yesterday. Not a bad day. I've got so many news stories here to tell you about today, so I'll come to those in a minute. First of all, your messages today. A very good morning to Mark Jones. Morning, Mark. Adrian Richardson says good morning, and all the cake lovers everywhere. He does love a cake, our Adrian. We've had some lovely weather here. It was a bit cold this morning, as I say, and I did have I had a jumper on, or I did put a little fan heater on my legs while I was sitting there watching the telly this morning. Morning to Adam the plumber. Morning. Grant Boatman's there. Grant's had a terrible time over the bank holiday time. He's had a fire in his kitchen, and it's awful really when you think about it. He's lost some pets. He's lost some pets in the fire. I mean, awful. Just horrendous, because they become little family members, don't they, pets? You know, and to actually lose, and it's bad enough when they die, but to lose three pets in a fire. Oh, my heart goes out to you. Good morning, Grant. Mike says, nothing worse than a cold toilet seat. Yeah, I think you can buy warm ones. You want ones that warm up, can't you? Toilet seats. Hello, Christina Ewing. Good morning to you. Mike tried a Greg's vegan sausage roll the other day. Delicious, only £1. That's right, that's all they are, £1. They're actually quite shocked in there when you say one. You know, usually I think there's a boy, sometimes after church on a Sunday I go to the Greg's in Wokingham, which is about a 10-minute walk. It's quite nice actually walking around there on a Sunday afternoon. And if you go into Greg's and say, can I have a vegan sausage roll? And he looks at you, he said, oh, just one? Yes. All right, okay then, £1 please. And you hand over the pound. There was, I mean, they're big enough, aren't they? Just one, he goes, just one. Oh well. Adrian, I hope you're not using the chicken manure, because you get a lot of foxes and animals that like that sniffing around your potatoes. Funnily enough, you should say that. There's just been a tractor going back and forwards. It's literally right in front of my caravan. Okay? You know where, let's see how far... Okay, you know where the front row is in the pub? So me standing on the stage and the front row of people, those tables at the front, that's how close the tractor is to me. Anyway, this has gone past a few times. I just opened up the window to give the bedroom a bit of an air in, and there's a smell of horse manure. So that'll probably fill up the entire... I'll come in Friday stinking of horse manure, and the sun's out, making it even worse. Good morning to Diane, Jeb. Hello there. Ben, good morning to Ben Kwabar Nasa, I think it is. Good morning. Shania Steele is there. Morning, Shania, who's at work. She's going to catch the show later. Morning to the SOS Gregorian, watching a repeat of yesterday's of your yesterday's show on BBC Two Colour. I wasn't on BBC Two, unfortunately. I'd like to be. If you know anyone on BBC Two who wants a show, let me know. Okay. Carl Rex Mawson, good morning. Congratulations. He's just passed a driving test. He can drive now. And don't think I don't notice these things, Carl. Michael Lawrence is in the house. A very good morning to young Michael. Over on the YouTube there we are. Morning to the lovely Claire. He come and sung 3 lovely songs, I have to say, on Monday at the karaoke. My partner just spent £1,500 on 5 small trees. £1,500. That's what they are. If they're mature, then they are expensive things. There was actually a wooden horse there, which was on sale for, I think, £2,500. It was a wooden horse at the garden centre. £2,500 it was, this horse. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Just to sit in the garden. My sister seems to be obsessed by all these little plastic animals you can buy. Or fiberglass. Cats, dogs, bunny rabbits, frogs. And they've got loads of them there. Oh, look at the little animals. I said, they're plastic. No, they're not. They're fiberglass. She always has to have an answer. No, it's not. They're fiberglass. And she's picking up these animals. I don't see the point of them. There was a little cat what was quite cute, but I wouldn't buy one. And they're like 40 quid. Why would you pay 40 quid to have a plastic cat sitting outside the front of your door? It's almost as bad as having those stone statues people used to have, didn't they? Of eagles and things like that on top of their houses. What's that one they had on the... what's that horror film? It's a church in Putney. Isn't there an angel at the top there? And it's like the devil in it, and it came down. Oh no, that was a cross, wasn't it? The Exorcist, that's it. Didn't that have that? What's it called? All these wooden concrete statues up there, which have now been replaced in the garden centre by fiberglass ones. 40, 50 quid. There was a tiger there, which was hundreds of pounds. The great big orange and black tiger. Do these things fade in the sunlight as well? Perhaps where your grave is, you could surround it by lions and tigers and things like that. That might be frightening other people off. Where are we? Claire says he's now digging out a huge willow tree with a drill. Is he really? Christ. What, is that a weeping willow tree? Or you don't want one of those near your house? Oh my God. The roots spread out for miles. Weeping willow trees, and they can damage your house there. All right. Paul and Lou, good morning to you. Has Chris still got a pyjama top on? Oh, come on. It's not that bad, is it? I thought I won't wear a jacket today because I've only bought the one up here with me, haven't I? It looks stupid wearing the same thing. It don't look like a pyjama jacket, does it? Does it really? Got loads of news stories to read you today. It's a good morning for news. It reminds me of that Star Trek saying by the Klingons. It's a good day to die today. Let's have a look. Unfortunately, because of the drilling, Claire is only able to listen today spasmodically. That's a good word. Oh, well done, Claire. That's today's word of the day is spasmodically. We like that word. We like that word. Thank you. Let's have a look there. Adrian, I was wondering what the smell was from you. When I chat to you, now I know. No, because it's only today, Adrian, the smell has appeared. We don't have horse dung smell all the time here. They must be spreading it out on the field in front of me. All right. Okie doke then. Let's have a look here. Now, here's our news stories today. Oh, I noticed. Oh, a little bit of sad news, boys and girls. If you're a Dallas fan, this wasn't really on the main news, but Ken Kercheval, who played Cliff Barnes in the one of the most wonderful programmes ever on the television, Dallas, died a few days ago, actually, on April the 21st, aged 83. So that's Ken Kercheval, who played Cliff Barnes on Dallas. And I just had a little look at his biography on the old Wikipedia, which isn't always a good place to find. I mean, it's a good place, but anyone can edit this, you see. So you can get lies in there sometimes. But I didn't know Ken Kirchhoff, who played Cliff Barnes, he was the only person other than Larry Hagman who stayed throughout the entire set of series of Dallas. Did you know that? Anyone who watched Dallas? So you probably, if you were a Dallas fan, and I know there's a lot of you, I was certainly a big Dallas fan, then you'll know who I mean there. Cliff Barnes, rest in peace. We did enjoy his acting and we loved Dallas. And so we've lost two of them now, you see. Larry Hagman, who played JR, about 3 or 4 years ago now, I think he was. He died. And now Ken Kirchhoff. So I don't suppose Dallas will ever come back now. I mean, when JR died, it carried on for another series after that. But the viewing ratings were very, very low and they cancelled it. And there's a couple of groups on Facebook that bring back Dallas type thing. Well, now we've lost two. You see, now we've lost two. Probably, I would say, the main character, of course, was JR. But it struggled on without him for a year. And it was all right. I thought it was all right. And now we've lost one of the other main characters, which was Cliff. I think Dallas could have been successful again, but it was put on the wrong channel. Certainly here in the UK, it was shoved over on Channel 5. Well, I mean, you talk to people, I mean, hardly anyone watches Channel 5. So it was on the wrong channel for a start. And even though characters, not characters, even though the actors die or the actresses die, even though they die, I think you can carry on. I think you can carry on as long as you stick to it and bring other people in, and then people get used to the other people. I don't think it was given much of a chance, Dallas, to be honest. But you see, everyone wants a quick fix now, don't they? We don't want everything. Oh, it's got to work. It's got to work. It's like that with live entertainers as well. Whether it be comedians or DJs or anything in between, you know, they want it's these managers want an instant success like that, and it's not always possible. So rest in peace there. Good morning to Ian Days over on the YouTube. Morning, Ian. Michael Lawrence was very sad to hear that. Yep, he heard it. Christina's just heard it now. She didn't know. So very sad news about Cliff Barnes. He was 83 years old, which is, I think, sort of early 80s is now just getting into old age, isn't it? 50s and 60s is not old anymore. 70s, you're on the way. 80s, early 80s is just into old age, I think now. So he was just into it there, 83 years old. Rest in peace. Okay. What else have we got here? Let me have a look. Does anyone buy anything from ASOS? ASOS. Oh, hang on. Let's just do my text messages. I've just looked across and saw my little mobile phone there. Yes, Simon Keane said this is a little bit slow to work, this phone, for some reason sometimes. There we are. Simon, reference yesterday to my breakfast story. I can't remember the breakfast story, but never mind. I was in a cafe this morning and a sign said breakfast at any time, so I ordered full English at the Battle of Hastings, 1066. Thank you, Simon. Always a laugh a minute, Simon. He's very loud. I've met Simon a couple of times. He's very, very loud. About time you came back to my karaoke one week, isn't it? I'm sure everyone will be pleased to see you, sir. All right. Yes, ASOS. Now, I only ever heard about ASOS when we had some story about them. I think it was last year or something. Maybe they were having trouble making profit or about to go bankrupt and someone rescued them. Anyway, I've been unaware of this. This is a story on ITV a couple of weeks ago, but it came up this morning on BBC Breakfast News for some reason. Online retailer ASOS has revealed it's changing its returns policy in a bid to deter serial returners from its website. Now, this is a new saying that I've heard. Now, I do know there are people there that keep ordering stuff from Amazon or wherever, and they look at it, or they decide they don't like it and they send it straight back. I know there are people that I know of people, and I know people that do that. Okay? The thing is, when you order something online and it gets anything that's delivered, you then have certain rights. You've changed your mind, just send it back. Now, you can't do that in a shop. Okay? You can't do that in a shop. You can't go into Primark, buy a pair of knickers, okay, look at them. I've changed my mind, and I don't want those. They don't then have to take that back. They may well take it back. They don't have to give you cash. They don't have to give you something different. And they don't have to give you a credit note. Now, they may do one or all of those things for you. Depends on the shop. But they don't have to. Okay? A lot of people think you can buy some, oh, change my mind, take it back. No, not the case. Not the case at all. If you buy something online, unless it's broken, sorry, I beg your pardon, if you buy something online, you should look at it, oh, I don't want that, you just send it back. That's a law, that is. Okay, I happen to know that. Well, on the ITV website, it says, the online fashion giant said the change could lead to some users having their accounts deactivated. This is the people that keep sending stuff back all the time. Serial returners are shoppers who deliberately buy several items, knowing full well they might not keep some of them. Serial returners are shoppers. In an email sent to customers this week, ASOS says, if we notice an unusual pattern, we might investigate and take some action. It's unlikely to affect you, but we want to give you a heads up. People who the company suspect of buying clothes online, this is why they're doing it mainly. People who the company suspect of buying clothes online, wearing them, and then sending them back for a full refund, as well as those who return above average numbers of items, could now be investigated and risk having that account suspended. Now, I never knew people did this. It never occurred to me to order a jacket, a nice jacket, you know, expensive jacket, say. Now, I've got Claridge's next week. Perhaps I should do this. Order an expensive jacket online, you know, a few £1,000s perhaps. Something like Hugo Boss. I don't have anything Hugo Boss. They're really expensive. Something like a Hugo Boss. I could wear it and be very careful at Claridge's and then send it back again. I never knew people did this. Seriously. I know people buy, as I say, I know people buy stuff, look at it, oh, I changed my mind, and then send that back. I know that. But I was completely unaware that people buy clothes to wear out. They wear them. Okay, I'll send them back now. I never knew people did that. Well, they do. Do you know anyone who does this? Do you do it? I'd love to know if you do. Let me know. In its terms and conditions, ASOS says, if we notice an unusual pattern of returns activity that doesn't sit right, as I say, we suspect someone is actually wearing their purchases and then returning them, or ordering and returning loads, way more than even the most loyal ASOS customers would order, then we might have to deactivate the account and any associated accounts. In addition to cracking down on serial returners, ASOS' new policy will allow shoppers to return unwanted purchases after the usual 28 days. So that's interesting. So they've given you that there for whatever reason. But interesting. I really had no idea people bought something and sent it back. That is shocking, that is. Absolutely shocking. Some of your messages coming here. Sorry, got itchy eye again this morning. Let's have a look there. Oh, you're talking to each other there. Russ Vernon, a very good morning to Russ Vernon. Adrian. Oh, sorry, I've read that, haven't I? There we are. Where are we going now? Oh, okay. We're there, aren't we? Good morning to MD Shamalezai. Zai, I think that's how you say it. Hello to you. David Mallam is in the house. Good morning. Michael Lawrence. Chris, I didn't know about this until you told me. No, neither did I. Fancy that. Mike Reese-Ponto. Mike, this is very strange. Your messages are actually not coming up on the chat screen this morning. They're coming up because I'm watching it on here as well, you see. I've got your messages coming up on here, but your messages are not coming up on the chat screen along with everyone else's. Isn't that strange? But fortunately, I've got this in front of me. Mike says you can't take your knickers back if you worn and soiled them. Do you do that a lot then, Mike? Mike soils his knickers a lot, don't you? Oh, how awful. Dear me. I don't know. I want to know about that, Mike, really. Paul and Lou say it happens a lot, Chris. At Lou's workplace, she works with a lot of young girls. They order up to 5 items at a time at ASOS and Boho. What is that, Boho? Boohoo? Boho? Who are they? Is that another like online clothes people, is it? I've not heard of those. And send up to 4 things back. They have an annual fee like Prime. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Prime. I know Amazon. I haven't got Amazon Prime, actually. I'm trying not to order so much off Amazon. I used to sit here and just order stuff all the time, so I'm trying not to do that. All right, now 2 snakes stories for you. Be careful of snakes. They're all over the place, boys and girls. Watch out for snakes. First of all, in the Daily Mirror, Maureen's with us. Good morning to Maureen. My back's a lot better, by the way. Thank you for asking, Maureen. My back is actually a lot better. There's a little bit of a twinge now, but it's not too bad. I am now able to stand up straight. Indeed, after I do the show today, I've got a couple of things to do today. I want to put my plants in my new plants and plant those up in the pots. I've got an incredible amount of pots out there, large pots. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to put them around, but I'll do it while I'm out there. And I've got to put those in, and then I've got to have a haircut because look, the bald bit's showing through again. You've got to keep it short every 2 weeks. So I'm going up to H, the hairdresser. He'll cut me hair and tidy up this a bit, and then I'm going swimming in Horncastle. I'll probably pop into my nephew's garage just to say hello to him, see if he wants a bit of lunch, take him some chips or something in there while he's working on the cars, and then come back in. I think it's Skegness tonight. Looking forward to going to Skegness tonight as well. So that'll be a nice little, a very, very busy day for me. Busy. Right, snakes. Look at this, snakes. In the Daily Mirror this morning, a woman was bitten by a snake at a UK beach during the Easter bank holiday weekend. She was bitten by an adder. Now, you wouldn't expect to see a snake on a British beach, would you? You just wouldn't. The woman, especially on a nudist beach, they've got one of those in Brighton. I accidentally traipsed onto it once, years ago. Not a nice experience. The only people you seem to see at nudist beach are people sort of my age who are slightly overweight or very overweight, like me, who have got lots of wrinkles. You don't see anyone fit on a nudist beach. I'm sorry, you don't. So don't be packing your bags and going down there because there's nothing to see. They're all old people like us. Dear me. Anyway, this woman was bitten by, even worse if you're on a nudist beach and a snake appears, what could it bite? The woman was bitten by an adder in the sand dunes behind Woolacombe Beach in North Devon on Sunday. Lifeguards helped to treat her until paramedics arrived, reports the newspaper Devon Live. Royal National Lifeboat Institute spokesperson said she approached the lifeguard facility where lifeguards immobilised her, kept her calm and monitored her condition before handing her into the care of paramedics. I mean, frightening, dear. Snakes on the beach. Mind you, you see them on like those programmes like what David Attenborough does, don't you? Like sand snakes, and they move ever so fast. Don't they eat the little baby turtles? Poor baby turtles. Poor baby turtles. It says the incident was one of several major incidents at Devon beaches over the weekend, and then there are other things that have happened there. But snakes on the beach, and that's not the only snake story I've got for you. Oh no! I mean, the country's practically alive with snakes at the moment. Watch out, everyone! They're knocking at my door now. I have to open my door very carefully. 10 snakes coming. They're coming up the toilet and everywhere. It's frightening sitting on that bloody thing this morning. I could hear a sort of swishing noise underneath me. I didn't look down. Very, very frightening. In this morning's BBC news website, a father has spoken of his shock after his children found a 7-foot boa constrictor in the garden. Bruce Baker thought the youngsters were playing a prank when they told him to come and see the 2.1 metre long snake. He and a neighbour had to coax the boa constrictor into a plastic box until the Scottish SPCA arrived at his home in the Scottish borders. Have you ever seen a snake anywhere, by the way? Where? Where was it? Where did you... I mean, even in a zoo. Have you seen a snake before? A live snake. Like that they are, aren't they? What are those ones with the heads? Rattlesnakes, that's it. Evil things. The flat heads that they do with the little flutes. The snake charmers do in India, don't they? Frightening. Why would you ever want to go and sit? Because they can strike, like, and they've got you, mate. Those snakes can attack you far quicker than great nephew Harry launches himself at me to attack me sometimes. Efforts are continuing to try and trace the owner of the stray snake, which was captured on Sunday. The boa constrictor, which was thought to be an escaped pet. Now, I don't think they bite you, do the boa constrictors? They're the ones that go around you and they tighten themselves. You can't get them off. Don't think you can get them off. I'm sure you can't. The boa constrictor, thought to be an escaped pet, had been taken to the Scottish SPCA rehoming centre in Edinburgh. BBC website this. Mr Baker said he was a bit shaken at first because his youngest child is just 1 year old. She's not long walking, and she was dottering around the front doorstep, and the snake was just off the side of the grass, so she would have been literally a couple of metres from it. He said the snake had been found under his son's bike. Its head was underneath there. The rest of its body was round the side of the house. I mean, how long was this blooming thing? 2.1 metres. It's a lot taller than me. I'm little. I'm only 5'7". I'm a small person. Not as small as Claire. She holds the award for that. Claire is the smallest person here today. Father of four said he'd make sure his children were safe inside the house before he went outside. So watch out for those snakes, boys and girls. They're pouring in. They're pouring into the country on boats coming across the water. Queen Elizabeth II and the Queen Victoria boat are coming over here at this moment. Full of snakes. Watch out. Watch out, watch out. There's a snake about. Morning to Joanna. You're a bit late today, Joanna. We're nearly finished here. What time do you call this? Sure, people are getting later and very, very lax people turning up these days to this show. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it then. I'll just leave it, shall I? Won't bother anymore. You can't be bothered to be there. I'm not going to bother to sit here and talk to myself all day, dear. Paul and Lou says, I hear that people are also doing fashion videos on YouTube, saying they bought them from ASOS and sending them back. You wouldn't do that, would you? I mean, how stupid can you be to do a YouTube video, say you've bought a load of stuff from ASOS, and I'm going to be sending it back after I've worn it? Because someone could be watching that. What a stupid thing that would be to do. I know there are some of these YouTube, shall we say, reviewers, whether it's clothes, hotels, restaurants. What they do is contact the restaurant, some of these people, ghastly people, awful people, right? They say, oh, I'm going to stay at, say it's a hotel, or I'm coming to stay at your hotel. I do YouTube reviews and I'll be making a video at your hotel. Could I have a free night? That's what they do, to get free holidays. No, that's not a proper reviewer. A proper reviewer is someone who goes and stays at a hotel, pays and says nothing to anyone and reviews it like that. That is a proper reviewer. Shocking. People have the amount of people that are out there for freebies all the time. They always want freebies. I got some money yesterday. I'm very pleased to tell you. I'll come to that in a minute. Julian says we've got loads of snakes in Mallorca. Grass snakes and adders. Oh, Julian, no, dear. Yeah, but you're all right because you can hypnotise them. You can. Julian is a hypnotiser. He was like a. I hope you're not offended by this, Julian. As an entertainer, hypnotiser. Would that be the? Please correct me if I'm wrong there. I think there's like hypnotisers who you would, shall we say, go and say, I want to give up smoking and I'll come and see you privately. Yeah, privately. There's that sort of hypnotiser, and an entertainer hypnotiser who will come on a stage and, start acting like a dog. Now, is that what you are, or do you do both? I'd be interested to know that. Maybe you do the private one as well. Would that be a good description of what you do, an entertainer hypnotiser? Do let me know, okay? Yeah, I can see Julian, so this snake would have come up, look at me, and the snake would back off, you see. The snake would back. Julian can look after himself, don't worry about that. Michael, snakes are more scared of us than we are of them. I have seen one once. When I used to go jogging, that was in Bracknell Forest. I used to go through the woods there. Oh, it was lovely. Unfortunately, my knees started playing up, so I had to stop. But I did see an adder. It was the one with the diamonds on it. Is that like the one adder? Was it black with diamonds on it? I think that's how it was. And it heard me, obviously heard my footsteps, and it just slid into the grass. It didn't want to know me. Diane Jebb, my son has got 3.5-foot ball python. He's lovely. Oh no, Diane, why would you want to keep a python? No, get a nice pussycat. Get a cat. Or goldfish. A python? Why do people get, and even worse than snakes, spiders? Why, oh why would someone want to keep a tarantula in their house? Oh no, dear. No, Diane. Well, I was going to come round to your house, Diane, but I'm not going to now. Now you've told me you've got a blooming great big dirty snake in there. No, thank you. Claire. Claire is 5'3". I'm sure Maureen is even shorter. Small but perfectly formed. How tall are you, Maureen? I don't know how tall you are, Maureen. Are you 5 foot? Because Claire is 5'3". You must be round about the same size. I thought Maureen was slightly taller than you, actually, Claire. Mike Responto has just texted in. Thank you, Mike. That's working there. Text. I do get your text in, Mike. No, Mike. It's sorry. I have like a chat message screen that is supposed to connect to YouTube, Facebook, and all of them. Okay, so all the chat things come into one place there. But for some reason, the Facebook one doesn't always see every single message. And messages are mixed out, are missed out. And I don't know why. Your ones are this morning. They're not coming through on there, but they are coming through, fortunately, on my little phone, which I've got here up in front of me there. So if it ever happens, boys and girls, that your messages are not getting read out, then just send a text, because that'll come up on the phone here, you see. All right, that's how that all works. This phone doesn't ring. If you was to try and ring that number now, it wouldn't ring, okay? You won't hear it. Some people have, let's just try it and see if it rings. It won't ring. It'll sound like it's ringing to you, but that won't actually ring there, you see. Free throw. A very good morning to Free Throw 92. Drink a beer, buy a beer. Okay, thank you. Julian, excellent. I hope so. I worked on the gay circuit in London for years as an entertainer hypnotist. An entertainer hypnotist. And he was very good. I worked with him, I think twice, wasn't it? Just twice, Julian. I'm sure I worked with you twice and you were bringing up people to be hypnotised on the stage. Very good. Very good indeed. Good morning to Michael Lawrence, who may get a snake. Why, Michael? Why do you want to get a snake? Get a cat, dear. Or what about a gerbil? They're quite easy. Gerbils. You know, you can look after those. You see, I'm not keen on having things in cages, though. I think that's cruel, having things in cages. A cat, I mean, you could have a cat. You wouldn't put that in a cage, would you? You could have a cat. Cats are very easy to look after, you know. And if you don't want to stroke them for a while, they don't care. Don't want to stroke me? It's all right, I don't care. Bye. The only thing is with cats is if they find a better deal somewhere else, you know, the house down the road or something like that, they will drop you. Okay? I must... You've got to make sure a cat is comfortable in your house or you will be dropped. Absolutely serious about that. They will just drop you, simple as that. Paul is only 5'8". This must be the same short arse. It's the short arse channel. That's what this is, Claire. Claire's in charge of the short arse channel, aren't you? Oh, Diane, the python eats rats. He gets them frozen from the pet shop. Oh no! Can't you farm it out somewhere where they got a problem with rats? I know some people with caravans, they have a problem with mice. Sometimes caravans have got holes somewhere that you don't know about, and people close them up for the winter. This site only closes for 2 months, so that's handy. But some sites close for 4 or 5 months. They're only open for a short period of time, and then they come back and they find mice droppings. So you could possibly go around to a couple of caravan sites, Diane, and see if they want to borrow your python or hire your python out, dear. Make some money from the thing, dear. It's costing you a fortune in frozen rats, isn't it? Now, have you ever been worried about the old e-visa? You ever been abroad? It's always bothered me, this. You know, the e-visa. So, for example, America do this, and I think Australia as well. And if you want to go to America, certainly from the UK, you have to go on the American government site. Now, be careful where you go. What you want to do is walk into a Thomas Cook and say, can I have the official website of the American visa people, right? That's where you want to go. That's where it will be cheapest to do this. There are various companies that will do this for you around the world, okay? But you want to go on the official American visa site, and it used to be free. I think it's just a case of $10 now. I think they charge $10 for this now. But you must have a visa when you're traveling to America. Now, there is no sort of paper thing. You simply apply to it, type in your passport number and your name and your birthday and all this business, and then you send it off to them. Esther, it's called. Esther. The Esther is the American one, right? Send it off to Esther, and they either reply almost immediately, or they might say, we will come back to you, in which case they're checking you out to make sure that you're not a terrorist or bringing drugs in or something ghastly like that, okay? So you pay your money and that's it. The thing is, there's no bit of paper, okay? Unless you decide yourself to print that off, there is no bit of paper. They don't say you need a bit of paper, okay? I'm always worried about these e-visa things, because how do you know they've done it? It's so easy for someone to make a mistake typing it in and put a wrong number there, and you get to America, no visa. They're going to send you back again. So I always print out my visa application and the kind of thing to say that you now have that visa. In America's case, I think it's 2 or 3 years, right? Turkey, watch out. Watch out if you do this for Turkey. In the Sun this morning, it says British people heading to Turkey on holiday have been warned to print their e-visas before travelling or face being turned away at the airport. Do you travel abroad much? You know, when you need a visa, you don't always need a visa, depends where you're going. But do you, when you've got an e-visa, do you print that off as well, or do you just take it as done? What do you do? A travel agent has warned families ahead of travelling in the summer holidays to avoid their trip ending in disaster. Lindsay West wrote on her Facebook page, this is in the Sun, to anyone travelling to Turkey, you will now need to show a paper copy of your visa at UK airports. So that's this end. If you don't have this, you are not allowed to get on the plane. There's been loads of people turned away and missed out on their holiday. The tour operators don't always inform you of this when you book. Please allow extra time at the airport. This is very interesting. Last year, the Sun Online Travel revealed Turkey has scrapped e-visa kiosks at airports, meaning travellers would no longer be able to apply for a visa upon arrival. I suppose they had that sort of thing set up for people that had forgotten to do it, because a lot of people don't realise you can't just get on a plane and go anywhere. Some countries you do need a visa. Instead, an e-visa must be purchased before travel at evisa.gov.tr. So that gives you the correct information there. Despite it being an online visa, though, it's recommended to print it out, but not enforced. Same with the Australian, same with the American one. They say you've got an e-visa, you don't need any paperwork. I always print that off because you don't know. You get there, we've got nothing here. If you've got that bit of paper, you've got more of a chance of continuing on your luxurious holiday. The Foreign Office advises, in case of technical problems at the Turkish port of entry, carry a printed copy of your e-visa or keep an electric copy on a smartphone or other device to show at immigration. So I suppose you could, I don't know how that works, whether they, I suppose they email you the visa, don't they? They email it to you, don't they? Yes, you've done this. Here is a copy of it. But a lot of people wouldn't bother to print that off. It seems passengers are now running into problems, says the story, even if they have the visa on their smartphones. A passenger wrote on Facebook over 30 passengers were left behind to lose their holiday as they didn't have a visa or couldn't show a boarding crew one. Another remarked, yesterday at Stansted Airport, people without printed visas were made to apply on their phones. What, there and then, you see. Last year, a couple were turned away at the airport for not printing their visas out before entering Turkey. They told The Independent that they were prevented from boarding their flight to Bodrum at London Stansted because of this. Bodrum is in Turkey, ending their 10-day holiday before it even started. A number of travellers have been left confused by the conflicting advice and have taken to online forums for answers. So, I mean, absolutely. And it says Turkey, but in all honesty, if you're ever going anywhere at all in the world and you need one of these visas, I would print it off. Absolutely. Print it off. Better be safe than sorry, okay? Paul and Lou says, all this snake talk reminds me of that old rhyme, my friend Billy. I don't know that. My friend Billy. What's that then? What's all that? My friend. I don't know that story. Sorry. My friend Billy. Okay. Mike, snakes are beautiful. I used to all own 2 Stimpson pythons. Well, you keep them at your house, mate. I don't want to see them. Julian had 2 corn snakes back in the 1980s. Why would you have such things? No, dear. No. Oh, gosh. Self-employed people, very important, and I've banged on about this so many times before. Hundreds of thousands of self-employed workers who, you know how early I am, okay? My tax year runs out in March, okay? By the second week in April, my accountant had all my paperwork. I'm so quick. Do you know when I have to get tax stuff in? But you've got to get a form in, I think it's before the 31st of December. That's when you have to file your accounts with the tax authorities. Mine tend to go in sort of May, sort of 6 months ahead of that. So I'm always on the ball with that. I don't want to pay fines. Why would you want to pay a fine just because you're too downright lazy to get your tax stuff off? It's madness. Just handing money for nothing. And some of these fines are quite considerable, although I say they're considerable. You see, I consider £100 a lot of money. I honestly do. I still consider that an awful lot of money. So yesterday I spent £95 at the garden centre. I think that's a hell of a lot of money. Other people wouldn't give two shakes to sort of spend that on a night out. I'd be mortified if I went into a pub and spent more than 10 quid in a night. Dear me, I would. Hundreds of thousands of self-employed workers in this morning's Daily Mail who missed the tax filing deadline face deadly penalties. Not deadly, well, they are deadly. Daily penalties if they fail to submit their returns within the next week. It reckons around 731,000 people, these are self-employed people, missed the January 31st deadline. And if they do not act before April the 30th, so that's only in 6 days' time, they will be fined £10 a day for 90 days. That's up to £900 plus a £100 late filing charge. After 90 days, the penalties get even more. To avoid favour charges, set up an account and it tells you what to do. But yes, I mean, I just don't understand people that are not on the ball and don't sort this stuff out. I know a lot of entertainers like this. They leave it until the last minute. and they get to the last minute, okay, fine, and then they run into a problem and they haven't got time to sort that out because they've left it so long. Madness. I mean, if you really want, you know, if you really want to get rid of money like that, then just send the money to me if you want to. You know, if you oh, it's only £10 a day or whatever it is, £10 a week. I can't remember what they said now. Just send it here then, okay? If you want to just throw money away, because that's what you're doing. That is exactly what you're doing, throwing money away, just because you couldn't get your arse into gear and get those tax returns out. Absolute madness, madness. Michael, don't you have Bunnings over there now? Ah, Bunnings. We did. Now, but it didn't work. Bunnings, I know who you mean. Bunnings took over, I believe, some, if not all, of Sainsbury's Homebase. Okay? And a couple of the stores changed from Homebase to Bunnings and failed miserably for some reason. The whole, you see, the thing is we don't have the same weather as you do in Australia. And I think that they changed the stuff that they sold in the Bunnings warehouses. Sort of, I say warehouses, you know, the big shops are like DIY places. And for some reason it hasn't worked here. I remember that story on the news some time ago now. It was a few months ago that was. But the Bunnings have failed here. It didn't work here. They took over Homebase. We still have some Homebases here. Whether or not they're owned by Bunnings or not, I don't know. So that's interesting. Let's have a look there. Okay, let's see. Good morning to... JP is there. JP joining us a little later today. Good morning, JP. One more story to tell you today, and it's what I've said to you right at the beginning of the show. I managed to get some money for nothing. Do you remember I told you I was having a problem with Outfox the Market? Outfox the Market are my energy supplier. I went to them. I always look at the list, and I go with whoever is the cheapest. Okay? You get nothing for loyalty these days, unfortunately. I was having a conversation with someone on one of the static caravan website groups about insurance. She was asking about insurance. She doesn't understand how insurance has gone up £200 in a year. And I went on there and said, you get nothing for loyalty on insurances, on mobile phone contract. Well, actually, mobile phone contracts are pretty good. They're pretty good. They will try and hold on to you. But certainly insurance companies, cars, houses, caravans, utility bills, you get nothing for... If you stay with a company, it will cost you more. You've got to change companies. The best example of this was a few years ago. I was changing my car insurance, it was. And it was with... I think it was with Aviva. I might be wrong with that, but nevertheless. So the renewal come. And it was like 150 quid more than the year before. Now, some of you will say, well, it's not a lot of money. It's only £10 a month. To me, 150 quid is a hell of a lot of money. And I went online. Done all these comparisons. Okay? And I came out with a comparison which was about £4 or something. No, it was actually less than what I'd paid the previous year. And the name of the company, where it was a few pounds less, was the same as the one I was already with, Aviva. So I rang them up on the phone. Hello there. Just got your renewal. I'm finding some better quotes. Can you do better for me? Oh, let's have a look. So he starts typing away. And I think he got it down about 30 quid. I said, well, it's nothing like what I have. He said, okay. Then he said, well, I can't get any lower than that. Well, maybe you can. And he said, go on. I said, well, the name of the company is exactly the same. I have done a comparison website with my own insurance here. And it's you again. Ah, yes. Well, that would be as a new customer. Right. Well, surely you can match that. No, we can't do that, sir. What you have to do is let this one run its course, or just tell us you're not going to renew it, and reapply on that website. Well, can't you just do it on the phone now? No, we can't do that. You have to reapply. I said, is it all the same? He said, yeah, it's exactly the same as what you got now, but you've got to go through the process of reapplying again. I mean, how mad is that? For a new customer, he said they want to attract a new customer. I never understand that with companies. Surely it's cheaper for them to hold on to old customers rather than attract new ones. Surely. You would think that, wouldn't you? So I went on there and basically I told this lady on the static caravan group that how that would work. You know, you've got to go on there and change. You've got to do your comparisons and change. Never stay with the same company. Never stay with the same insurance company. Very unlikely you'll get such a good deal. So with the Outfox the Market thing, that's my energy supplier, back in February, okay? Back in February, I was 190 odd pounds in credit. I think it was about 193 or something like that. And my bills were now starting to come down. You know, you get how much credit you pay on that bill from the energy companies. You see how much your bills have been this month, and then you see how much direct debit they've taken. And it was going like this all the time. But now, you know, we've come through winter. Now it's starting to go down again. And it was already £190 in credit. The idea is you build up the credit in the summer, so during the winter, you use it all up. But I'd gone way, way over the top. 190 odd pounds in credit. So in February, I applied to have some of it come back. And they said, OK, we'll do that within a few days. Nothing happened. I left it for a few weeks. And then about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I wrote to them back again. Sorry. Back in March, I then threatened them with action with Ofcom or whoever that is. Ofgem, I think it is. Ofgem or someone like that. They wrote back to me, sorry for the delay, it'll be in your account within 5 days. Nothing appeared again, then I left it. About 2 weeks ago, I got them on the chat web thing, right? Said, oh, very sorry for the delay. We've had a couple of problems here. It'll be on your account within the next 5 to 7 days. 5 to 7 days passed, nothing. Okay? I've then joined this, or I had been on for a while actually, a Facebook group, Outfox the Market Complaints or something like that. And this group is full of people like me who've been trying to get a refund, who are way, way in credit, or who have left the company and gone elsewhere and they've not been given their money back. It's full of them. So I'm watching this going on. And then about a week ago, wrote to them again on the chat web. They, same sort of answer to me. Very sorry for the delay. I've now marked this as urgent. The money will be in your account within 5 to 7 days. I applied for £130 refund, leaving 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. By the way, I'm now £183 in credit. Okay? At the point where I reapplied, or spoke to them about a week ago, it's come down about £7, so nothing to write home about. And guess what? Last night I looked at my bank account and they've refunded me not £130, but £129 and 4 pence. Do you think they just do these sort of things to piss you off? Is that why they do that? The companies do that sort of thing. Why have you given me £129? Of course, I'm not going to complain for the sake of like 96 pence. But I'm so pleased at last I've got that £130 back. And it's very strange because in 3 days' time, I am able to start switching to another supplier. I'm out of that period where I'll have to pay them a cancellation fee. If you cancel within that year, it's £100. You know, £50 per fuel. But then there becomes you come within 30 days of the end of your contract. At that point, cancellation fees don't apply. They can't charge you after that. And here's my refund arrived 3 days before I can switch to another supplier. Very, very interesting. Very interesting, that. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. John says, have you been paid yet, Chris? Yes, the pay went in yesterday. I rung up, and apparently, as I thought, it was something to do with the with the whole bank holiday thing. So that's why that was. All right. Okay, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday this morning on this, Wednesday the 24th of April 2019 to Mr. Ian Philip James, who is today 41 years old and he's just moved. Good morning, Ian. Happy birthday to you. Ian used to be a DJ as well. Good morning, Ian. 41 today. Tim Hadley, who's one of my neighbours actually. He today is 48 years old. I didn't know you're so much younger than me, Tim. Happy birthday to you, Tim. Jose Vega is 40... Hang on a minute. Have I got the right Tim there? No, I haven't. I've got the wrong Tim. I beg your pardon. This is Tim in New York. I beg your pardon. I've got a neighbour called Tim as well. He's been on the telly, actually. He's in one of those police programmes. You know, not the what do you call him? Not the policeman that walk the streets. The traffic police, that's it. He's one of those traffic policemen. Up and down the motorways, helping people. That's what my neighbour does. No, that's not. This is Tim Hadley in New York, who's got a lovely restaurant where they used to show my show on it, dear. They used to show the karaoke stream on there. Good morning to Jose Vega, 46 years old today. Andy Kankert, good morning, Andy. Happy birthday to you. Sven Inge Anderson is 61 years old today. Rose Conforti, good morning. Happy birthday to you. Yasir Hawaz Pelars, good morning. Long time no see. Happy birthday to you. Grant Knowles, DJ, down on the south coast, I think you are, aren't you, Grant? Happy birthday to you. I worked with him in a place called the Bulldog. 46 years old today for Grant. Happy birthday. Young Robert. Robert Mussi Mitchell. Remember the sausage roll? Remember the sausage roll, Robert? It's like a sausage roll. Do you remember saying that to me? Happy birthday, Robert. Lovari Anthony, good morning. Lovari rather, Anthony, good morning. Happy birthday to you. And Emma Amelia's birthday as well today. So once again, on this Wednesday, the 24th of April 2019, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Have a nice Wednesday. Martin Lewis Money Saving Expert Energy Club is good for changing to an energy supply. Yeah, I've got that one as well there, Mike, actually. I usually use U-Switch or something like that. Very good indeed. So thank you for that link there. Right, I shall go and get on. I shall have a cup of tea now, take my tablets and do my plants outside and then hopefully get my hair cut. It's a busy, busy day for me. I'll do my plants first. I'll get a couple of pictures or something out the front there and hopefully show that to you tomorrow. Okay, have a lovely day. Thanks ever so much for joining us on the show today. Once again, thank you to those that took the time and trouble to share the show to your walls as well. That's much appreciated. The more the merrier, dear. The more the merrier. See you again very soon on the next show. Bye-bye now.